Today the drinks will be on me. Cause I'm having a wonderful day. Hey, hey, I'm having a wonderful day. This life like we live is a blessing for me. Today the drinks will be on me. Cause I'm having a wonderful day. Hey, hey,
Crazy.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Peep Game TV and Keeping It Real Team Collaboration. I'm your man, Shadi Ali, aka SRD, with my man Jay Sean,
What's
aka Mr. F Love. What's
what's
good?
up? What's good? What's good?
Can't call it.
Another day.
So, how was your week, brother?
Um, it was good. It was okay. Um, it was like one of them weeks where it seemed like it ain't enough time in a day. You know, you ever get weeks like that where you like Monday, you like I got to do something all day long. You like I
Yeah,
got to do
yeah,
this, and you doing other things, and I'm like, okay, then it's the end. You like I'm gonna do it tomorrow. You know what I mean? And tomorrow come, it's the same thing. Like I got to do this, I got to do this, and then you wind up doing something different.
yeah. Well, that I try to be on. I try to keep me a schedule. I try to regulate my schedule for that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? But I've dealt with it before, I've dealt with it, especially, during it with the work schedule and all that. You know what I'm saying? With that used to be tumultuous, you
tell
know.
me, yeah.
So
So you like I always say, like Jamal Hall said, it ain't enough hours in the day.
yeah. Well, I mean, especially when you're doing being productive, when you're
Yeah.
striving to make something happen. If you just chilling, hanging out and, you know, doing, basically the same thing every day, then it's fine. But when you you know what I'm saying? But when you're striving to do something different every day, you striving to get closer and closer to the goals that you set for yourself, then yeah, you start feeling like that.
it's,
There's
it's
not enough hours in the day.
it's always funny to me, like when when you be in Patterson. I don't know about down south, but you could drive around and you could see like people like outside liquor stores hanging out. Um, more than likely probably homeless people or alcoholics or drug addicts or whatever. They always in a good
See
ass
what's up?
mood. They always in a good ass mood, like
Well,
they
yeah,
don't got
yeah,
no problems.
dancing around and all that kind of stuff, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. When you peace, Kev, that's when you got people, doing the same thing, doing the same thing most of the day. So yeah,
yeah,
of course is is easy going. You got your routine, you get up, you hang out. That's cool.
yeah. That is.
All right, what's up? What's up? Yeah. So basically it's your turn to get to me, right?
Oh,
I get the questions asked. Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, what's up, everybody?
Um,
Glad you guys, decided to be with us. We know you could have been anywhere, and we thankful and grateful that you chose to spend some time with us. So, you know, without any further ado, let's get into it. What's
yeah.
the first question, my brother?
Um, yeah. I'm a little under the weather, so if my voice is
Qua,
cracking, pardon me, everybody. Um, the first
yeah,
question.
qua pink. All right.
Um, do you think we as men bear some responsibility for black, aka Moorish
Moorish
women,
women.
Moorish women being known as angry? So basically, he's saying, do you think that men are responsible for black women or more, or they also call Moorish women, uh being known as being so angry?
I think it's a it's a yes, and it's kind of a, you know, it's tricky because to some degree most men are being raised by women,
Right.
so some of their behaviors are behaviors that they may not have gotten the right perspective, you know, from their mom and to some extent.
Right.
However, then there's mothers who do give their sons, proper guidance and things of that nature. But the real disheartening part of it came for me, and I'm pretty sure others, yourself and others, from our male role models. From men, watching men do what they do, and the main thing that I think is between men and women. Men try to be rational for the most part, and we try to think things out. And not to take nothing away from the women when it comes to thinking. Women do think, they spend a lot of time thinking and things of that nature. However, our emotional levels are different. You got to remember, a woman, her connection to humanity is much different from a man.
Right.
A woman carries a baby inside of her for 9 months, or in some cases less than that, but she gets to connect to human life in a manner that a man don't ever get to connect that way. So she's going to have some sensitivity that we are not even going to be able to comprehend.
Right.
And that, not being able to comprehend that, causes us to do things, say things, and I think one of the biggest things that we can do to women is be dishonest to them. Lead them on, make them believe that we have intentions when one way, when our intentions are totally different. I think that's the part that creates the anger. So many women, I think, you know, are hurt based on building trust for their spouse or whoever, and the average thing, the old 1-2 punch that most men do is you know infidelity. You know, and not only do we do it, we lie about it. We come in, and many men lie about it. You know, and I think another question is, which is worse, the lie or the act? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But I've found, that, yeah, they're gonna be angry for you doing something, but I think the respect get lost once you have to lie about it. Once you lie, now not only have you been uh, deceitful, you've been dishonest, and
Hmm.
you've created a pain. Now the distrust goes even deeper because you betrayed them. Now it's difficult for them to trust you, and a lot of times we brush over it because it's something that we wanted to do. So we don't look at it in a manner that we're um, intentionally causing them harm, because it's not something. Even though your intentions may have been to be with another woman, your intentions wasn't to hurt the woman you was with. And not only that, in many cases, a guy end up hurting both women. You know, Some cases, you know, they know about the other woman. Some cases they don't. Plenty guys lie straight through, and we, you know, it creates anger because now they start to look at themselves as less than. Like what's wrong with them that we can't? It's difficult for us to be faithful to them, you know. And when you're young, you don't even those things don't even cross your mind. They, you don't even think about how they feel or what they feel. All you think about is what you want to do and how it's going to make you feel. And I truly believe that, yeah, we do bear some responsibility for the anger because we put them in situations and we deny until we have no other choice. And now, pain, I found a lot of people, when they're in pain, they automatically express that pain through anger. So I think what we are getting confused, many of us as men, that women are angry, I think is more or less the pain that they feel being disguised as anger. So, you know, I hear a lot of brothers, man, I ain't messing with no angry black woman, man. I'm tired of them. I've heard you say you tired of the angry women. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
But just to shed a little light, that a lot of times what we may perceive as anger may actually be pain, and because we receiving it as anger, we dismiss it and we walk away rather than strive to find out what the pain is and how the pain, what caused the pain, and what can we do to kind of lessen the pain. So that's my thoughts. You know, take it, leave it, or throw it away.
You went, you went all over with that.
Huh?
You went all, you really summed that up. You was getting to the point. um,
What you think?
um, I, I, I think that the the attitude of the black women or the Moorish women or the anger or the pain, however you want to draw it up, it got a it got a root from something. Black women, they can't be born, they can't be born angry. You know what I mean? With a you know, just like you can't be born prejudiced. You know, so they can't be born. You can't be born angry with a man. Like when you come out the womb, you innocent. You can't see anger, pain, right, wrong. You can't see nothing because you bless you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You just you being born. So what what I'm saying, the root of the anger has to come from somewhere. So if it's not from life or experiences or your upbringing, then it got to be from men. It got to be from men, and it got to be from relationships. Uh, it got to be to me. To me, the angry, the women, it got to come from the black men or the Moorish men. It got to because uh, where else could it come from? Because we not talking about um, them being unhappy with their with their, we're not talking about are they unhappy or angry because of their own life. We asking, do we think the root of it comes from the man?
Right.
Now, people, some of them, they probably could be unhappy with their life, yeah, or they didn't get where they wanted to go, or they maybe, or some, they didn't have the chance that they feel like they should have had. But we talking about anger, and I believe that the anger that's in black women or Morris women, is from black men. That's my opinion. Past relationships. My father once told me, he said every time a man get with a woman and she's get coming from every relationship she have, she now she on revenge. Not revenge to get even, but revenge to make sure what happened to her in this relationship don't damn sure don't happen in the next relationship. So you could have had a man who say you could have had a man that hit you,
Right.
and the ladies be like, "I'll be damned if I let another man hit me." You could have had a man that just cheated on you all the time. You'd be like, "No, I'm gonna be damned if I'm gonna let another man dog me out and cheat on me like that." Or you could have had he was lazy, he didn't work, and you worked. Then you're gonna say, "Now I'll be damned if I have another man laying up off of me." So my father, he told me that women, that's how from every relationship, he called it revenge.
Right.
I ain't gonna say revenge, but I'm gonna say that that's when the anger starts building up from one bad relationship to another bad relationship to another one, and before they know it, they just angry with the world because I mean, what else could it be? It can't be nothing. What else? What else? Because they damn sure angry. That's a fact. No, yeah, that's a fact right there. And shit, and I'm talking about 90, maybe 95% of them is angry and don't take no mess and aggressive, uh, want to be somebody mother. I ain't getting into all that. I just say I believe it's
So
they
we do
angry
have
from
some
men. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm
responsibility.
still giving them credit. I'm saying they angry
Right.
because of no good men. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, you saying most times what your father basically said that women they are making sure that they don't encounter the same thing over and over. So they really striving to protect themselves in a manner.
Well,
You know, each yeah,
that's most of that's most of their ideas that but some of them repeat the same thing. History just keep repeat. Some women get a lazy man, they get another lazy man. Some women get a cheater, and you get another cheater and another cheater. What I mean? You want to do better, but you don't. You know what I mean? And that's another thing that'll build up anger in a woman. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, damn, I thought he was the one. He just like the old one. Now, before
yeah.
you know it,
Well, I like to say in those cases, you got the same man with a different face.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So you get the same characteristics, and sometimes that's I think that means that the woman requires some work on herself because if you keep getting the same guy, then it's time to start looking within because
that's
there's
true.
something within you that attracting that same type of individual.
That's true. That's true.
So so remember that, ladies, those of you who may be guilty of that you get the same guy just in a different face and body, you know. So just be mindful of that. That it may be something that you internally that is necessary for you to examine.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we all remember this thing, man. What was that in the what 2000 what
20.
20
1920.
2020, stuff like that. When to, the pandemic came out, when people just start like catching some type of cold that seemed to be like you couldn't get rid of it. It was like you got a cold and you can't get rid of it. You coughing and all of that stuff. And then some people it was, even making them worse. But anyway, what is your feelings on the whole COVID-19 and the whole epidemic it caused? Hey, what's up, Shashank?
um, I really believe, I really do. I really believe that whole COVID-19 thing was manufactured, not just by Japan or what they said Japan. Somebody brought it here. I believe that it was set down in a private room amongst people that we don't know, and it was discussed and what it was gonna do and how it was gonna be done, and and then when they was gonna stop it. And I really in my mind and my heart believe that they did that for some kind of population control. I can't really put my finger on it, but I think it was done for some kind of
Hey, Mish.
population control. Like maybe they wanted to get rid of old people who was getting SSI. Maybe it was just too many people. That part I don't know, but I really believe in my heart that it was done for population control. Even though it backfired and they started attacking rich, uh, I think the president even had it two
Right.
times maybe. So maybe that wasn't in the plans. You know what I mean? But I believe COVID was made, manufactured, put together in a laboratory by scientists from the United States and I think Japan or China, wherever they said. And I don't believe it was an overnight thing. I believe it was something they maybe worked on or talked about for years. Because they said the last one before that, I think, was it the Spanish flu or something like that? Something like that. And that was bad. And I think, me personally, I think it was done for population control. What about you?
I could somewhat agree with that, and I would say the last epidemic that that really swept the nation was AIDS.
Oh yeah, AIDS. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because that kind of just was. We know several people who passed away from it.
yeah.
And it went from HIV to AIDS, and then it was weird how it came about because remember I'm getting off the topic a little bit to kind of come back. When the AIDS came, they had all the blood banks, the
Hmm.
mobile blood banks where you could go and donate blood,
Right.
and they would pay you. Shortly after that, then they talk about monkeys and all of this. Uh, People who drug addicts, you know, uh, gay people, all of that stuff. They was trying to say what was caused it. However, I believe they did, like you said, got into a laboratory, did some research, mixed some things up, and came up with a result.
Yeah.
And the result was, uh, you know, people suffering due to immunal deficiencies. Because basically, that's the same thing that was really happening with the COVID. People's immune system was breaking down.
Right.
So it's just we live in a land where I truly believe that money is more valuable than people. So when it comes to making money, they will choose the money over the people. And so, yeah, I do truly believe that that was a part of population control because
Yeah.
you're able to get rid of a lot of people without having some type of war, and it just looked like it just accidentally happened, So that's the way it was made to look.
It sure was.
Yeah, but yeah, I can agree with you that I believe it was more than just a coincidence or what they say a coinky dink. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, well, oh, wow, that's crazy. That leads to the second question.
Peace, son.
It's almost about the same on the same topic. Um, what what are your thoughts about America spending $1 billion a day on the war between United States, Israel, and Iran?
I think it's a travesty. I think it's downright just inhumane. I think it's totally inhumane when you can spend $1 billion on killing people and you won't even put millions into educating people, into
Right.
feeding people, into housing people. Can you imagine what $1 billion a day could do for America itself? You know what I mean? If $1 billion a day was invested into all the inner cities, it wouldn't be no such thing as inner cities.
Yep.
It wouldn't be no such thing as homeless. It wouldn't be no such thing as low health care. So it's it's sad because there's so many individuals who really look up to the government, who really believe that their vote counts. They run this campaign, you know, vote, vote, let your voice be heard. How many people who's watching this got the chance to vote on who Trump decided not going to war? How many people got the chance to do that? So when they say your vote counts for what? What does it actually count for? Because at the end of the day, you didn't get a choice in choosing the war. You're not going to get a choice in ending the war. You can march, you can do whatever. They're going to end that war when they decide they want to end that war. And then those of you who say we at war, how are we at war? We didn't put that war in place.
Right.
You know, we didn't co-sign that war. We don't even know really why they're going to war. They're saying that they was making nuclear bombs, but then they do interviews and say, oh, they're not even making nuclear bombs. So you know, we as a society or a nation of people, it's necessary for us to get our heads out of our butts and start really looking at what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a people who disguise themselves as the government, who work for big companies. That's who they concerned about, the big companies. Who you think making that $1 billion? Who you think eating off of that? You know? So she's trying to say we come last when it comes to our money and how it's used. Are we really a democracy? I mean, we're hypocrisy. That's what we are. That's what America is, a hypocrisy. I'm not going to say we are hypocrisy. America is a hypocrisy. They're hypocritical. They tell you you got a right and your vote is going to help change, make changes. How many of you actually see real changes in your neighborhoods? We need a new government. We need a government that's going to be actually care about the people. Plus, besides that, and this is no disrespect to European people, who all do you see sitting in them seats making them decisions, making them laws? You don't see an equal amount of everybody split up. You don't see Asians, you don't see Latinos, you don't see Moors, aka black people, equal amount of them. No, you see the majority of Europeans making decisions that affect the whole world. Why? Why do we continue to allow this to keep happening
Hmm.
when there's other ways that we can do it? Hey, Puffy said something. He said we needed a black political party. He was halfway right, but they got scared when he said he needed a black political party because they know there's people behind the scenes that are working towards putting together a government that is called the Empire of Morocco, that is ran by those people who are now known as black, African American, people of color, Dominicans, Haitians, all of those type of people, you know? So it's a government that's being put together as we speak that has, we have an opportunity to start filling those seats and stop running towards the European and thinking they gonna change his mind and start treating us the way we want to be treated. It ain't gonna happen. Trust me. What you think, brother?
Shit, $1 billion a day. I can't even. I can't even start the fathom that $1 billion a day. They got $1 billion a day to spend on a war. The thing is, this absurd is that this not the first time. So you would think if you had a war and you were spending $1 billion a day, that you would learn a lesson. That you would make sure, like, yo, we ain't gonna have no more wars where we got to spend $1 billion a day. But this is like a reoccurring thing. Every time it's a war, we spending $1 billion a day. So that that leads you to say that it's more money in the government than what we know about. It's they quick to say, oh, it's an inflation, or there's no money in here. We got to do this and we got to do that, but I don't believe the hype. If you're able to spend $1 billion a day on a war, that's a day. And if it happened before and you doing the same thing again, then somebody got that plan somewhere. That's just not oh, we made a mistake and we spent $1 billion a day. Nah, that's something that's written, researched, planned, put into effect, and and put into motion. And I believe that they got ways that they're gonna get it back too.
Well,
Once the war is over, I believe they got ways that they probably uh tax the government, or things that they do, or run some kind of loopholes or something, where they're gonna get that money back from America. We probably won't even know it. It'll probably be like a quarter here, 50 cent there, this going tax up, this out your paycheck, water, this is up, this is, you know what I mean? Or
yeah,
they got plans and ideas how to get that money back. They ain't gonna they ain't spending $1 billion a day to go into a deficit. You know what I mean? Because how can you just continue to spend $1 billion a day? That's $1 billion.
right. Yeah.
And you spending it in a day. Nah, that's another thing I think this planned out.
Well, I agree, absolutely. You remember when Tupac said, "You got money for wars, but can't feed the poor."
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I'm saying. Basically, what I'm saying.
right? So, and the other part about it is, Trump administration is now, petitioning the Congress for 200 billion. They want 200 billion. Now, remember, this is what we don't realize, and the government don't have any money.
Right.
The government get their money from what you just said. Taxes here, taxes there, raising this, raising that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's where their money come from. Their money come from the people.
Yep.
Tashana said it too. That they use our money the way that they choose to use
Yep.
it.
Bless
Excuse me.
you.
Yeah, we don't. So this is the travesty about your tax dollars. When your tax dollars are being used to fight a war that you don't even, many people don't even agree with. Like Israel just got out of a war with Palestine. Now
Hmm.
they're in another war with Iran, and look who's backing them. America's backing them again. The United States is backing them again. So of course it's planned. Of course it's something that you know they're doing with underlying intentions that we as the people, as a nation of people, won't ever know. And if we do know, it's going to be some 50, 60 years down the road.
Yep.
It'll come out. So yeah, so I just feel like it's time for all of us in this land to wake up and start looking at this so-called fictitious government for what they are, a bunch of scam artists. That's what they are. They're scamming the people. Get in the chair saying what they're going to do. Like Trump said, he was going to be a man of peace and he wasn't going to have no war. Look what he's doing.
Yeah.
So they sell you one bill of goods and then they pull out another bill of goods.
Yep.
You know, it's like they playing 3 card Molly and they got you trying to pick the card. You know what I'm saying? What they're gonna do, and they keep switching it up on you.
Yep.
So yeah, man. So it's time for us to wake up as a nation of people. No matter what your nationality is, it's time for us to wake up. We
Yep.
need a new government. Let's let us get a shot at it. You know what I'm saying? We can't at this point. We can't go nowhere else but up because we down in the basement right now.
That's true.
All right, so this kind of falls in line with
I know everything is falling in
yeah,
line, right?
yeah,
We
yeah,
we didn't even we didn't
yeah,
even know it.
yeah. This kind of falls in line when it comes to what's going on. Like when it comes to money, we talking about money. So my question is, do you trust, or is there? Do you trust banks, or is there another place to keep your savings? Is there somewhere else you like to keep your savings? Do you have a trust for the banks?
That's deep. That's deep because that's kind of like what we talking about. Um, it's so much. It's so much stuff that go into banks holding people money that everybody like to say, oh, they take your money and then they take your money and they loaning it to other people, or they take your money and they uh, putting it into projects and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And they take your money and they doing this and they doing that. It's way it's way more than that going on with them banks and your money. You know what I mean? That's just a chip off of what's going on with the banks.
The tip
That's
of the
just
iceberg.
that's just the tip of the iceberg, man. Let me tell you something. You could have, say, like if you got $10,000 in the bank, and you could have it in the bank for a while, and you could go there and ask for a loan. You know, they won't even want to give you a loan. They third degree you, and if they give you one, you better do cartwheels. If you can get a loan from a bank, you better do cartwheels. They that's the bank is a criminal. They that's more criminal than than
They're
what
loan
you,
sharks. They're
yeah,
legalized loan sharks.
right, yeah. You know, you take all your money there, you give it to them, unless you got a large amount of money, they give you with maybe 2 cent a month, 5 cent a month interest or something like that. Unless you got a lot of money, but in the meantime, they taking your money and they moving it over here. Then they taking that money and they moving it back over there. It's like an ongoing thing. You know what I mean? What they doing with your money, and and you know we taught that from when we young.
Right.
You know, take your money, put it in a bank, get a bank book. You know, whatever. Now it's cards and save your money. You know what I mean? And let the bank hold your money, and it's insured and stuff like that. But I think the banking system is like the biggest crooks. You know, the biggest crooks out there. I don't know every kind of hustle they running, but I know for sure that they taking your money and they doing a abundance of other stuff with it, and they not giving you nothing for it, and they're not gonna give you no loans, and they're not gonna give you no credit cards unless you got a lot of damn uh a lot of
Collateral.
collateral and equity and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So me for banks, even though I use them,
Right.
but that leave a nasty taste in my mouth when you think about they charge you for having checking accounts, some $5, $10, $12. They charge you for having a saving account. They charge you for checkbooks. They charge you for bank drafts. Bless you. They charge you
Thank
for
you.
overdrafts. They charge you for it's organized crime. Put it like that. It's organized crime at your finest. You know what I mean? And that's what you think about that.
Yeah. I look at it as I said. It's like the loan shark. The loan shark loan you money. They charge you interest on the money. And the only thing they're not doing like the loan sharks. They're not coming to break your legs, but they gonna break your pockets. You know what I'm saying? If you don't
Yeah,
pay that money back, they're gonna break your pockets.
right,
And but there's and the other thing is, I think you know we as a community don't have a lot of insight when it comes to how to utilize those institutions.
right.
So we many of us are used more than we utilize it.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
yeah, so I think we need the economic literacy on how to utilize the banks and how to really make it work. Even insurance, we don't know how to utilize these things because we're not taught in the schools that many our children go to. They're not really being taught how to do this. And when those go to college, some come back and teach the community. Some take it and just use it for themselves.
Yep.
I think that the bank, it can be useful when used properly, but
Right.
like I said,
That's
most
why I
of
say
us,
like I use it too.
yeah, most people don't really know how to use it properly. Like you said, you getting charged for your checkbook. You're getting charged for overdrawing your account. You're getting charged for transferring money, pulling money from a different debit, a different debit, no, a different ATM. Certain ATMs they charge you. So
Yep.
yeah, they're being able to utilize your money to benefit them more so than you are being able to utilize your money to benefit you. And I think that's the travesty that you're really actually talking about. That is
Yep.
that is hurting the community, hurting a lot of people in the society because they don't really know how to use the banks properly, and there's not a lot of information that's being taught. However, we're in an age now where you can go to Chat GBT and just start asking them a bunch of questions, man, and get you some and then now, we in a time of information.
Yeah.
The internet and is yeah, it has its flaws, but it also has its perks, just like any and everything else. So I just think, you know, those of us who want to utilize them banks just learn how to make it benefit you better.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
that's it. Took me a long time. Um. Uh. Okay. Uh. Okay. Would you Would you pay $25 for a cup of gumbo made by Tina Knowles? And I guess Tina Knowles, I guess that's Beyonce mother.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I heard, they were talking about, Tina Knowles made some gumbo in Louisiana, and people were buying it for like $25 a cup.
I want some.
$25 a cup. I don't know if
I know I never had go. My bad. Go ahead. I never had gumbo, but I want
yeah.
some.
Well, my thing is, I don't want to try for no $25 a cup. Maybe a big bowl, you know what I'm saying? But for a cup, yeah, I mean, depending on what size the cup is,
Yeah.
$25 go a long way. Shit, my book is $25, and you'll still be able to read that after a while. So for me, I don't think I would do it, but I see why it could be attractive for people to do it because she's Beyonce's mom, and you can say, "Yeah, I had Beyonce mom gumbo," and I hope you're able to keep the cup that you brought. You know what I'm saying? For $25, you can take the cup and say, "Yeah, I had it in this cup,"
Yeah.
and hopefully her name was on the cup. But for me, nah, I don't see it. Especially people. One person said it tasted like beef stew. So I don't know how gumbo's supposed to taste. I'm like you. I haven't really had it, so I don't. You know. You know. God willing, be able to go to Louisiana and give it a shot.
Right. Yeah.
And try to find a place that don't throw the pork in there. That make the gumbo and leave the pork out.
Right.
But what's your thoughts?
um, I think I had the low version of it because one of my ex's fathers, he used to call himself making it the gumbo a couple of
Okay.
times. So I guess I had the taste of it, and before I got gastritis, uh something like gumbo would be right up my alley. Mixing all them beans and whatever, all that stuff in it. They don't have to put pork in it either.
Right, right.
But I'm into stuff like that. So if I was out there in Louisiana and I was on vacation, I think I would pay the $25 for a cup.
Okay.
If I was out there and I was on vacation and I knew for sure it was her mother making it,
Right, right.
I think I would try it.
Okay. All right. All right. So we getting to all of them, man. We got to this is the last one, man.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of talk about snitches get stitches and people on the street like even when we was on the street, it was like there was a code. You got to stay loyal. You do something with somebody. You take if you get caught, it's just you. You know what I mean? So, but what do you think about the no snitching code? The street dudes praise and live by today.
um, I look at snitching like kind of different. Um, if
Pardon me,
bless
y'all are catching a cold, but
me, I
we
got
still the
one
show
too.
still goes on.
um, I believe that snitching is something that like the average person. I think if you facing a lot of time and and something like that, I believe that they're gonna talk to save their own ass. I believe you do have some people who not gonna talk no matter what. Give me 100 years, give me 50 years, uh, bury me under the jail, kiss my ass. I'm not snitching. And then I believe it's people that's tough guys that when they back is against the wall that they will snitch. Um, it's so hard because you got to think of it from a lot of point of views. First of all, you being used by the cops because I never understood why they get somebody to snitch and then they put it in paperwork for you to see it.
Right,
like
right, right.
I never understood that. Why would you get somebody to tell on somebody and put their life, their reputation, and all that on the line, and then put it in a transcript and give it to the person or the attorney and let them know who snitched on them? Now, I guess that's the law and that's the way the law is, but that's a cold blooded law right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, me and you do a crime, and I tell on you, and then they tell you that I told on you. Where's the um?
The
I don't know,
protection,
but
the protection.
protect. But yeah, but for me, I think that if you do a crime with somebody and they get away and you don't, I believe that you just should wear it. Now, I don't know what people gonna do when they put in that situation, but we ain't talking about all that. We just talking about the snitching part. I believe if me and you did a crime
Right.
and you got away, then I should just wear it. I don't believe that it would benefit me none, even if they said I would get time off. of telling on you and then both of us in jail. Because when you out, you maybe possibly could help me or my family. Well, hopefully the people would. You know what I mean? I don't really know all the technicalities of it. Um, but that's how I feel about it. If two people do a crime and one get caught and one get away, then the person that got caught should just do the time. Also, another part of snitching is but this I don't know how really snitching this is because if people selling drugs in front of your house and you call the cops on them, I don't know if that's really snitching because that's a civilian and he not living by the street codes. So I don't know if that qualifies for snitching. Um, or the hotline, calling on the hotline, telling on people
Right.
or taking the rewards and all that. But that's a whole nother level of it. I'm just sticking to that one level. If two people do a crime and one get caught and one get away, the person that got caught should just do the time. What about you?
Well, based on the time that we came up in, that's just the way it was. If we did a crime together and you didn't get caught, then you got away. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
For the most part, most cats, lived by that. And when it's coming to snitching, and this is my opinion. Take it, leave it, or throw it away. Yeah, I agree with you when it comes to people that's not doing anything. I look at snitching as two people doing the same thing, two people committing a crime together, and one get caught and he tells he snitched.
yeah,
However, the scenario you gave is somebody selling drugs in your house, or if somebody robs you, and something like that, and you tell the police who did it. That I don't consider snitching because you wasn't committing a crime. You were a victim of a crime committed against you, and I think that's where people get it mixed up. Where
what you mean if somebody was watching you from their house or you
no,
did something
no,
to them?
no. Somebody, if you came out your house and somebody robbed you, and you happen to remember what the person looked like,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
you gave the information, you're not snitching. You were a
Right,
victim of a crime.
right,
Or if, as you said, if somebody, doing something illegal in front of your house
right.
and you see it and you tell, you're not a part of it. So you're not snitching. You're just, you know, uh, relaying information that you you witnessed that was
Yeah,
unlawful. You
right.
know, so however, but that's not the way it's taken because people often come back and get the people who said something, even people who like witness murders,
Yeah,
and they end up saying, "Well, this is the guy that did the murder. They didn't do the murder; they witnessed the murder, so they feel like they were doing their civic duty by
yeah,
by by informing the law enforcement of what happened."
right,
So yeah, yeah, I do, and as you said, if you got a person that you do a crime with and it's something where you guys making a lot of money, of
right.
course you would like for the person to look out for your family because you didn't involve them. They still out there on the street and you doing a lot of time. Say you rob a bank together and you guys get $1 million. You get away with $1 million
Yeah,
and you don't say anything, of course you would expect, okay, we did this together. I get 500,000 of that.
yeah.
Because I kept my mouth shut.
Hey, that's true. That happened to me though. Me and somebody was together, and it was some well, drugs was found in my car, but they wasn't mine. and they was gonna put it on both of us, and then it was a female, and then she
Right.
took it. Rest in peace. She took it. She took the charge, and I took care of her while she was in jail.
Right.
Man,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's an honorable thing. And you
yeah,
know, unfortunately, there's not a lot of honor floating around
yeah,
nowadays.
yeah,
You know, I think it's something, you know, need, you know, it's necessary to be addressed. It's something necessary to be brought back.
right.
You know, because you know I hear people say, "Oh, that was then. This is now." Yeah, but back then it was five. It was 7 days a week. Back then it was 24 hours in a day. Back then you still had to eat, sleep, and do whatever. You're still
Yeah,
doing some of the same things. So now we pick and choose what we want to change.
yeah.
But that's our time, brother. We
All right.
you know,
Hey.
and as usual, we appreciate y'all. You know, we know
Mm-hmm.
y'all could have been anywhere. Y'all chose to spend that time with us, and for that we're grateful.
Yep.
And I beg your pardon for being, you know, being a little under the weather, but the show must go on.
I woke up like that.
Yeah, so you know, let them know, brother, where they can
Oh,
see you at tomorrow.
tomorrow about 9:45, 10 o'clock. TikTok live and Facebook live. I'll be up there. I don't really got the topics yet. And if you in my group on Facebook, go in my Facebook group and check out my audio videos. I got 3 in there. I'm gonna post another one tomorrow, the fourth one, and then start working on the next 4. But I got 4 audio videos in there, different stories of my life. Go in there, and, like it, and leave a comment in my Keeping It Real group. And what's going on with the book before we get out of here, or tell people something?
I'm still grinding. Just you know, just did you know put in for the copyrights.
Okay.
Today. Uh, Looking forward to coming up with the ebook soon. So I'll
Oh,
keep
okay.
everybody informed when that drops. But just still promoting and still pushing it, and I know I was supposed to came on the show last week. That messing around with Ramadan, having to get up, man, fell
Oh,
out. So
don't even worry about it.
yeah,
I didn't start to 11. I
yeah,
had dozed off, and I didn't come on to 11. I was wondering, did you come on? But you can do it tomorrow if you want, because I'm gonna start doing like different things and give like a promote with your project, and give people time to promote what they want to do, because my show is so long, it's like 3 hours. So
right, right.
anybody want to come on there and promote, I don't got a million people, but I got people who listen. So anybody want to come on and promote something they doing, I'll give them an opportunity, along as well as me promoting my stuff. We gotta help each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
You
we
know.
we definitely it's definitely something that I would like to see more of. That we support each other more in what we are doing. That's anytime somebody become wealthy, it comes from support. A
Yep.
lot of times, family members, people they know, and people that they don't know that the people know them know. So it's a network thing.
Yep.
It's just about networking and believing in and wanting to see people do better. That's
Yep.
it. So until next week, life is love. Keep striving.
I know that's right. Peace.
Peace.